The Body Shop connects you with the hottest fitness models in the world. Learn the backstage secrets that most successful bikini divas, fitness models, and bodybuilders use to dominate their competition and land on the covers of magazines. Only here at the Body Shop will we allow you to listen and talk to the best of the best in fitness competition. If you're passionate about bodybuilding and fitness, you have found your new home. All of us here at FTNS Radio would like to welcome you to the Body Shop. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your host, Andre Brick St. Clair.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special edition of the Body Shop. Now, tonight we have a special guest, and I'm not going to introduce him just yet. I'm going to give you guys a little teaser. Next to me, as usual, is my favorite co-host, Mr. Brian Canone.
Yeah,
what's up, B? How you doing today, man?
Man? What's happening?
Man, you know, just got out the gym. You know, I'm a little sore, I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
You know what? Listen, I was training really hard today, okay?
Yeah.
Because I knew our guest that's going to be on the show, right?
Yeah.
I know he trains very hard.
Okay.
Okay? He thinks he's tougher than I am. You know, he actually thinks that he's tougher than Chuck Norris.
All right.
So what I was doing was I was at the gym. I was doing 21. So I was trying to get my arms up to 22 and a half. Okay? I'm close to it, but I'm not there just yet. I think I tore something, though.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Does that look normal?
I don't know, man.
No?
I don't know.
Does that look normal? All right. Well, you know. I'm trying. Hey, I'll tell you what. FTNS, is that looking normal? All right. Yeah.
Come on.
So, anyway.
So you're showing off your biceps.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to.
Because you think you're at an advantage.
Yeah.
Over this ultimately shredded human being.
Yes.
Who's comparable to Chuck Norris.
Yes.
He does a push-up and he pushes the earth down.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
And you heard a rumor about a bicep.
I did hear a rumor about a bicep. I heard that this man tore his bicep and he didn't say ouch.
He did not say ouch.
He didn't say ouch? Okay, listen. I'm getting a ton of texts there like, who are we talking about? So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Body Shop the creator of P90X, Mr. Tony Horton.
Woo-hoo.
Tony!
Hello, boys.
What's up, my man? How are you doing today?
I hear you're spreading a rumor about my bicep.
Well, listen, I don't know if it's a rumor, but I heard you didn't say ouch. Now, how true is that?
Actually, I did not say ouch. I did not say ouch. You know what I said?
Tell me what you said.
I said, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you know what? You know what the bummer is? The bummer is the rumor is true.
Oh, man.
He's not invincible.
So you really did tear your bicep?
I did tear it. I tore the tendon that connects my right bicep to my forearm. But let me tell you how I did it.
Okay.
Yes.
I was doing a move that I call iron cross flies.
Okay.
And so imagine a couple of rings hanging from my pull-up bar. My feet are on a Bosu ball. I'm in the starter position for a push-up. And instead of bending the elbows, I keep the arms perfectly straight and go out into an iron cross, you know, sort of a horizontal version.
Yes.
And on the third rep coming up, trying to keep my arms straight, my right arm hyperextended, and the tendon snapped off.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But, you know, here's what's crazy, you guys. It is an absolute blessing in disguise.
How so? How so was that?
Because, you know, I'm an upper body freak. I love muscle-ups. I love doing ring work. I love pegboards. I love pull-ups.
Right.
You know, I love dips. I love push-ups.
See, you talking my language.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I love getting up on the pull-up bar and cranking out 35 pull-ups. I can climb a 25-foot rope in around 11 pulls, you know.
Right.
And I can do muscle-up on rings. Not too bad for a guy who's 50, almost 53.
53 years old. Wow.
53 years old.
Wow.
25.
Well, you know, I'm creeping up on you, though, Tom. I'm creeping up on you. I'm in the 30s right now. What do you mean never? There's always a possibility.
When I die, then you catch up.
No. Here's how I'm going to catch up. I'm going to order P90X as soon as we get off the air, and I'm going to catch up.
Well, you know what? I just saw a video of this kid who weighed up 387 pounds. It was crazy. He was huge. He did P90X 3 times, and I posted his little video off of YouTube on my fan page, and in 20 minutes I got 180 comments from people.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the kid just, it was crazy what the transformation was. But the point I wanted to finish making is I'm working my core more. I'm doing more functional fitness. I'm doing more cardio and more leg work. And now, you know, what's going to end up happening is my lower half's going to get as stronger than my upper. And that's a good thing because, you know, I'm not a fan of cardio exercises typically. I like interval work and I like speed work and stuff like that. But I'm working on my weaknesses, man, and that's what it's all about. So in the end, it is a blessing, you know.
Wow.
And I'm still working. I actually, yesterday I did shoulder and arm.
Just shoulder and arm.
One arm. It was an arm.
Okay, now Tony, as you mentioned that you're actually seeing this more so as a blessing in disguise, right? And the fact that you're working your core more, and you're actually involving more of your lower extremities, and you're trying to get those stronger. Sounds to me like we about to have like a P90X Part 2 or something like that.
Well, you know, there is a P90X Part 2 coming out. We're probably going to release in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And you're going to see a lot more exercises like that. I mean, the beautiful thing is we created those for this next series, and after we created them and shot them and did them, I went back to my same old routines, you know, and now I'm forced to do them. You know, I'm forced to work my lower half in new ways, and it's kind of a drag when my own workouts kick my ass. You know, that's okay.
Well, that's supposed to be a good thing, because if you're going through it and you're making it look easy, then, you know, a lot of people are really not going to, you know, like, buy into the hype of the product.
No, it's true. But, you know, Brian saw me about a month and a half ago. We were in Connecticut, and, you know, you could probably tell, Brian, that I walk the talk pretty good.
Right.
There's nothing worse than showing up at an event where you've got that many people and you got a belly and you've got no striations and you're not vascular and you're not able to do a handstand or plyometric push-ups or something, because people expect you to. They expect you to. I mean, I'm not going to show up out of shape. That would just be ridiculous. And I wouldn't anyway, only because I understand the benefits of regular exercise and healthy food. Those two things changed my life. Those two things will change anybody's life, because without them, you lack the energy and enthusiasm to really take life on. You know, when you're overweight, you're overwhelmed, and anybody who says otherwise is just full of crap.
Exactly.
And then when you make that switch, I'll tell you, man, life was but a dream. It was for me. And now that I've got an injury, people say, well, what do you do? And I say, hey, man, when the top is broken, you work the bottom. When the bottom is broken, you work the top.
Absolutely.
When the top and the bottom are broken, you work the middle.
That's
Don't
it.
tell me you can't do something.
Hey, Tony, you know, I read a lot of the stuff about you online and, like, your story about how you started. And so you were originally born in Rhode Island, right, and then moved to Trumbull, Connecticut?
Yeah, I was born in Westerly, Rhode Island. So, you know, I have two hometowns. I say Westerly, Rhode Island, and Trumbull, Connecticut are my two hometowns. We settled in Trumbull in fifth grade. My father was in the military. He also had another job that had us moving around. I think we moved 9 times before fifth grade after I was born in Westerly. So, yeah, you know, Rhode Island is where my family is, and Trumbull, Connecticut is where a lot of my good memories are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you were in high school, right, so you went from high school, just moved right out to California on your own? Did you just, like, pick up one day and go, or was it something you had planned?
No, not at all. I graduated high school in 1976. Holy crap.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, 1976, the year of the bicentennial. Yeah.
You know what's funny about 1976 too, Tony?
What's that?
That's the year Brick's first breathed his
He was
first
born.
breath of lungs.
He was born that year.
Come on.
I'm dead serious, my man.
Crazy. Well, no, you know, then I went to the University of Rhode Island. I went back to the state of Rhode Island, and I spent 4 years in school, and that's all I'll say about that. But at the end of the fourth year,
Right.
I thought, you know, I still had about 4 or 6 credits to graduate. You know, I mean, I actually had a degree in beer consumption for a good portion of that time.
Nice.
And but yeah, I had full intention to go back and finish, you know, and just take some night classes or something. But a buddy of mine called me a few days after when I was supposed to graduate, and he said, "Hey, man, I'm going to California for the summer. Do you want to go?" And I got in the car with $400 in my pocket. Now think about that. Today in 2011, if you had $400, you wouldn't get past, I don't know, the great state of Pennsylvania, for, just in the price of gas.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But back in those days, that we'd sleep in the car and we'd get some ratty little hotel. We'd stay there, and I ran out of money in Colorado. We ended up in Colorado Springs, and I was a trained mime. Let's keep that a secret. but hey, I broke out the white face in the black and white clothing, and I made a couple $100 right there on the streets of Colorado Springs to get my butt, all the way over to California. So it turned out to be a handicraft,
Wow.
and that's how I got started. And I got out here in 1980, 31 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have like some background in like drama and trying to be an actor at that time?
Well, I was a theater major at URI, but I was also sort of a lame jock. So it's funny because the gym and the theater department were at opposite ends of campus, and I ended up spending more time, down in the practice field and down at the gym than I did in the theater department. So I didn't do very well there, and I ended up, working on my communication skills, and I ended up taking tons and tons of speech classes because when I was a younger lad, I had a bit of a speech impediment.
Did you stutter?
I used to speak really quickly, and I would get stuck on words all the time.
And, all the time.
It was really intimidating. I mean, why do you think I became a mime? I can entertain, but I don't have to say a damn word. But then, that really helped me quite a bit. And when I ended up in California, I was able to go on auditions and do different things. And
now, were people actually telling you at that time that you needed to put on more muscle to get better acting jobs?
Well, when you come out here and you want to be an actor, one of the first things you try to do is to try to get in the Screen Actors Guild. And the only way you can get into the Screen Actors Guild is to go on auditions. And the only way you can go on auditions is to have an agent.
Okay.
And so I remember as a kid watching Johnny Carson, and these big-time actors would come out and they talk about their agent, and so I had one all of a sudden. I mean, it took knocking down a lot of doors, but I finally found this crappy little agent that was willing to work hard. And the agent said to me, "Hey, look, if you want more work, you got to get rid of that little belly and those scrawny arms, and you got to look good."
Right.
And so I took that to heart. I just thought this person was God.
Yeah.
And so I started exercising. And also, when you come out to California, it's sunny here practically, 300 days out of the year, and people are just active. They're playing volleyball and they're surfing, and the mountains are nearby, so people are skiing, which is something that I love to do. And beaches are everywhere. And I was showing them at the beach, and people looking at me like, "Oh my God, look at that guy! What a load!" And I just said, "Wait a minute, this body thing is serious."
Right.
So I did it purely for aesthetic purposes. I didn't care about my health or my wealth. I just wanted big arms and a big chest, and I wanted my belly to go down a little bit. But I wasn't, I didn't have great core strength. I didn't have great cardiovascular strength. I just joined the gym and pumped a bunch of weights, and I thought that was enough. But it got me started.
So you had joined a World Gym at that time?
I was a member of 4 gyms. I was World Gym was one of them. Another place called Mesoplex, and then Sports Club LA, and then another one I forget. I mean, I just wanted a different atmosphere, every 4 nights a week. So I joined.
Okay.
What did you start doing when you first started working out? Because you got into all this other type of workout later, right? Like, did you first start off with
Pilates, yoga, functional fitness, intervals, sports-specific types of exercises. I got into that much, much later. For me, it was just an extension of what I was doing when I was back at URI, University of Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
I would do chest for 90 minutes.
Yes.
Right. Like I was what am I a linebacker? I would do legs for 2 hours. Okay, you guys, we got to do 8 sets of hack squats. And people are still doing this stuff, and that's fine. If it's sports specific or you're trying to impress somebody with your 90-inch quad muscles, rock on. But that's what I did. And then I would get on the stationary bike for an hour afterwards. So I was in the gym sometimes 2.5 hours, and that's the way I did it.
Okay, now, with you being in the gym for 2.5 hours, and as you say, you're doing 90 minutes of chest, and you're trying to make your chest look like the man that would soon be known as Bricks. Were there any stars that you saw being out there in California that possibly inspired?
him?
Did you say stars that inspired me?
Yeah.
No, when I was at World, you'd see guys like Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger and every big bodybuilder at the time in the early to mid '80s, and those were my early influences. But then I was lucky because I met this triathlete, and I had never even knew it. I didn't even know what a triathlon was, and he had a really interesting physique too. He was built more like. I don't want to say a gymnast, but he had just he was shredded. I mean, this guy was so striated and so vascular, and it wasn't just about aesthetics. It wasn't just about the way he looked. He could give a crap what he looked like.
Right.
His whole thing was to get faster, faster in the water, faster on his bike, and faster when he ran. And I just liked him, so I started hanging out with him. And so that was the early stages of mixing, some forms of weightlifting / bodybuilding with different kinds of exercises. And then yoga and Pilates and Kempo karate and all that stuff came even later.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What were you doing at that time? Did you start doing your stand-up comedy stuff at that time?
Yeah, because, I was an actor. I mean, I had this weird gig. I would get up in the morning and I would train my celebrity clients. I mean, when I first started training people, the only reason why I was training anybody is because people saw my transformation.
Okay.
I was training my boss at the time.
You was training your boss.
I was training my boss, yeah, because our job was pretty stressful. I worked at 20th Century Fox, and he was trying to make movies, but he couldn't make a movie to save his life. But, at least he had an office on the lot. And so, my job was to get up in the morning, do my workout, go feed the cat, go deliver some scripts, change a light bulb, get coffee, get my butt kicked around by everybody because I was just this little peon, I was a production assistant. And then, that whole time I had the agent, and the reason why I took the job was they allowed me to go off on auditions. Hey, I'd say, look, I've fed the cat and changed the light bulb. Can I go to my Kellogg's Rice Krispies audition now? I said, yeah, man, go for it.
Did you end up getting any jobs like that at that time?
Oh, I got a couple of beer commercials, and I got a couple of print jobs for, bathing suit or something else. And I would get the occasional microscopic movie role. If you look very closely, I'm in The Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm in...
What scene are you in?
What's that?
What scene are you in?
I'm in a scene at the precinct talking to the animated cat.
See, so no matter what, you just can't get away from these cats, correct?
I can't get away from cats. I got to be in a scene with them. It's a nightmare. And actually, they even cut my line, so I think I'm just sitting there reading. Welcome to Hollywood, buddy. And then the other movie, I was in another movie called The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas, and I get shot in the eye with an arrow, and
nice.
And I eat some human flesh. Very high protein human flesh.
So we got a stand-up comedian, we got a street mime, and we got a hustler.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was a go-go dancer at Chippendale.
Come on. Are you serious?
Yeah, I got bills to pay, man.
Oh, my God. Okay, so back in the 80s, what was Chippendales actually paying?
What was
Tips,
that?
I think. They got paid in tips.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to find out.
I mean, the place is filled with women. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. At least for me at that time, and I would work out. I had this pretty
Imagine
good body.
if he went back to that now.
Could you imagine Tony Horton at Chippendales right now?
I was, I mean, my body's probably better now than it was, 20 years ago. Right. They were paying me $23.50 an hour. I had never seen that kind of money. I couldn't believe it. So, and I was on a box. I remember a buddy of mine. He came in from Minneapolis, and he was really conservative. He had his khaki pants on. And his shirt. He turns to his buddy, and he just says, "Does Tony's father know that he dances on a box?"
You know what?
I got friends out there who's their parents are saying, yeah, my kid's curing cancer and saving lives. Yeah, my kid's dancing on a box in Hollywood. Holy smoke!
For $23.50 an hour back in the 80s.
For $23.50 an hour back in the 80s.
But back in the 80s, that was worth a lot of money. And you know what? I want to find out just how much money Tony actually made. But I'm gonna find out right when we come back from these commercials. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned.
Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Turn on the Just Big Show. It's a show about getting big, being big, and living big. Everything nowadays is supersized, including your hosts, Vincent DeZenzo and Matt Rhodes. Both are elite-level strength athletes, and they know how to get you bigger and stronger. If your goal is to set off every lunk alarm within a 10 gym radius and have a blast while doing it, tune into Just Big. Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on FTNS. Live the FTNS lifestyle. Follow the FTNS 4-step foundation of focus, train, nourish, sustain. A holistic approach to a balanced health of mind, body, and spirit. Focus. Envision your goal to get inspired. Train. Learn how to stay active and use proper techniques so you'll see results. Nourish. Proper nutrition and hydration are keys to staying healthy and energized. Sustain. The essential 3 R's to sustain your routine. Rest and relax to recover. Build a fitness lifestyle on the FTNS Foundation. Need FTNS on the go? There's an app for that. Download the FTNS app for your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch now. FTNS, world's first fitness radio, will keep you moving.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Body Shop. I am in the studio with Mr. Brian Canone, and on the line, for those of you that are just now joining the Body Shop, we have one of the funniest stand-up comedians to ever come out in 1980. We have the creator of P90X. We have Mr. Tony Horton, and Tony was just giving us some background information about himself, being from Rhode Island, settling in Trumbull, Connecticut, going to the University of Rhode Island. Believe it or not, he was actually a street mime. He used to train his boss. He was in The Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they cut his line. And
he was a Chippendales
dancer. Making $23.50 per hour. I'm never going to get over that. Now, now, Tony, I'm actually getting some comments here on my Facebook page, and a lot of your fans, they're saying hi, they're saying great show. One guy, his name is John Palazzo. Yes, John, I mentioned your name. Tony's proud. He says that he thinks you're an awesome guy for the fact that you tore your bicep and you didn't blink.
Yeah, let me say this. I did blink for a second.
That's all it was, right?
There was some mild blinking. When your bicep contracts up near your shoulder, and it just looks like you look like a mutant. That made me blink. And it pissed me off.
See, we can't do that now.
No, I was pissed. The weird thing is, I'm at 52, going on 53. This routine that I was in the middle of, it's the strongest I had felt in a long time. And
right.
I've been training really hard, working out 6 days a week. I had really honed in my diet just the way I wanted. Everything about me felt super fit. And I was like, I could just hop up and ice cold do 25 pull-ups, where that used to be my maximum number there for a while. And this sort of happened at the peak of my overall upper body fitness anyway. So. I blinked and I was pissed off, but then it refocused me, and that's okay.
I have another one here. Her name is Jeanette Garcia. She's from Rhode Island, and she says that what she wants to hear, believe it or not, is she wants you to say, "Come on, kids," because she loves when you call her a kid through her TV. So can you just say that one time for us?
Come on, kids! I'll even do it with a Rhode Island accent over there. Use kids, you gotta learn what the do's over here. You gotta bring it. You know what I'm talking about. Park your car, come over here and do the workout.
I can't believe you didn't make any money in stand-up, Tony.
Yeah, well, hey man, when you get that 2:00 gig in the middle of Pasadena in front of 3 drunk guys, you really tell yourself, you know what, this is not what I want to do for a living.
Unbelievable.
So coming from that though, Tone, and when you first started getting out there and you started landing these jobs, was one of the big ones the Nordic Track endorsement?
Absolutely true. You know, when I was kind of farting around with the occasional bit part or a print ad or something, I had a great connection to the folks up at Nordic Track. A friend of mine was working for them, and the tough thing is for a lot of people that are trying to sell their fitness products is it's rare to get somebody who's physically fit, who knows what they're doing, you know, when it comes to exercise and kinesiology and exercise science, but also can read a teleprompter. You know, you can get an actor, but they don't know, they look like crap, and they don't know the first thing about exercise. And you can get an exercise person, and a lot of times they are just, you know, it's important to just be fit and not be able to talk. You know what I mean?
So now we got to add impressionists over to your resume now, huh?
Not that there's anything wrong with that. But you know, I was the first guy that said, "Oh, yeah, this guy's super fit. He knows what he's talking about, and he can actually walk and chew gum at the same time."
Right.
So they were thrilled, and I was thrilled because it gave me an opportunity to read a teleprompter for the first time. You know, to actually be able to have to rehearse and learn lines and discuss the equipment. And yeah, I had a great couple of years going back and forth between L.A. and Minneapolis. They were out of Minneapolis, and that was my start really when it came to combining my acting abilities and my fitness together.
Was that like a commercial for Nordic Track? Like, is that what you did?
Go on YouTube, man, and you're going to see some pretty frightening stuff with me wearing, you know, pink cut-off tank tops with some yellow tights. You know, I mean, it was. I did a couple of their products, and I was in the original not Bowflex, but Thigh Master commercial.
Come on, wait.
I'm in the original Thigh Master commercial. There's a scene where I'm using the Thigh Master as a way to kind of work my arms, and there's a girl in front of me working her. Right. And the two of us look at each other like we just finished our honeymoon. You know? It's frightening. Go on YouTube, man. You'll get a yuck.
I am going to go on YouTube. I'm going to look that up. Tony, Laura Warnick says, "Oh my God, I'm dying over here. This guy is a riot." So you know.
Well, you know, the reason people say, "Well, why is P90X successful?" You know, I say because we shot it on film in a four camera format. No, it's successful for a lot of reasons. Obviously, muscle confusion is not certainly something I invented. Hey, man, that's nothing new. And I said, okay, I agree with you. It's not. What I did was, I'm the first guy that put weightlifting and cardio and Kempo karate and yoga in a sequence that nobody ever saw before. Mm-hmm. Okay. I also added a sense of humor.
That's right.
And I also gave people 3 ways to do any particular exercise. You know, so often you get these DVDs, and you've got the person in the front who is completely ripped and perfect and smiling and has teeth the color of paper. Yeah. And then you've got the 4 people behind them that look exactly like them, and nobody has any personality, and nobody shows you modifications, and you just feel sort of neglected and whipped at the end of it. And they might be great workouts, but the idea is to get people fired up so that they do this for 90 days, not for 10 and quit. Mm-hmm. You know. Right. And so it's the combination of, you know, a great program, great cast, and Beachbody allowing me to just be myself, you know. So I think people like it because they say, hey, you know, I never thought in a workout DVD somebody would show me how to do a pterodactyl backing out of a room. You know? And I teach that.
And you teach that.
Exactly right.
Now, when it came to Beachbody, and you met these people, was it how long of a time after you left Nordic Track did these opportunities come about when you started creating these other products?
There was a huge time frame in between. You know, I mean, the Nordic Track stuff was every once in a while. I mean, I'd go up there about once every 4 to 6 months. Some of them were instructional DVDs that you would get. Actually, I should say half-inch tapes because they didn't have DVDs back then. You get these half-inch tapes that would help you spend 45 days putting the thing together, you know, and then there was also, you know, the tapes to show you how to actually do the exercises. And some of them were short-form infomercials. Nordic Track back in those days, at least not with me, we didn't do 28-minute long-form infomercials. We did little 2-minute spots that you'd see at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So it was kind of a weird mix. But when that gig kind of ran out, it ran its course. Several years passed before I hooked up with Carl and the folks at Beachbody. Beachbody didn't exist I mean, I was there at its inception. It was Carl, the CEO, John, the president, me and Debbie Siebers, who does a Slim and Six series, and they had a couple of secretaries. I mean, we were renting space. They were renting space in a closet, you know, and that's how teeny it was. But Carl was a visionary, and he really liked my techniques. I mean, I met Carl because I was training Carl. And he said, "Oh, my God, you're kicking my ass while you're making me laugh. I've never had that experience before. I want to come back, and I want to hang out with you. You know, you're a madman, and you're super fit, and you're able to, you know, keep me motivated. So let's put that on a workout and see if we can sell it." And that's how that got going.
Well, when Beachbody first launched and they started doing these programs, which one was like your first like program that came out?
My very first one was something called, and this is what with Debbie Siebers, called Great Body Guaranteed. And they were these 15-minute short little, like I did a 15-minute arm routine, I did a 15-minute ab routine. Debbie did most of the leg and you know, leg squatting and kicking and lunging kind of workouts. And I did a stretch one too. And we started it, you know, we had almost no money. It was a shoestring budget. And we ran out of bread, so we had to go out to the beach and shoot him in the fog, you know, before the cops came to kick us off the beach because we didn't have any money for permits.
Wow!
Because you know, you get them and go, "Oh, that's weird." 1 minute they're in the gym, and the next minute they're at the beach.
Right?
Why? Because we ran out of money.
Perfect editing. That's what you call it.
So
Yeah.
Carl came from the like a background, like with some with the Gunthy Ranker, like the Tony Robbins commercials at that time. Is that where he was beforehand?
You know, I don't know if Carl was working on Tony Robbins infomercials specifically, but
Okay.
Carl's claim to fame was 8-minute abs. You know, and everybody had seen that short form 8-minute abs infomercial.
Okay.
And because of the power of that infomercial and the success that it had, the folks at Gunthy Ranker went out to Philadelphia and said, "Hey, man, we think you're great. Do you want to work with a bigger outfit? We think we can really help you." And initially, Carl was not doing any fitness stuff with Gunthy, and that's really where his heart was.
Okay.
So, and at early on, shortly after they had hired Carl, that's when I met him. And then, you know, and they saw that, you know, he and I had a great relationship. And at that point, Gunthy, you know, Bill Gunthy and Greg Rinker said, "Hey, you know what? Just do your own thing. We'll rent you a closet down the hallway, and maybe you and Tony can make some magic. Go for it." And so, you know, we had a lot of help from Gunthy Rinker early on, but it really was Carl. He was the visionary. He was the guy that wanted to, you know, he was done doing pantyhose that don't run infomercials, and he was ready to do something serious.
Pantyhose that don't run.
So you had a few things that came out before the P90X really came about. Like, I was watching on YouTube, though, there is some videos of you really pitching hard to the guys about P90X, and the whole creation was really your brainchild, wasn't it?
Well, you know, we had the metamorphosis was we had Great Body Guaranteed, and from that we had pretty good success. You know, you put something up on TV, and you know, you roll the dice, and first of all, you know, if there's 100 people who are trying to get their product on TV, maybe 10 will make it, and of those 10, 9 will fail, right?
Right.
And we had this Great Body Guaranteed, and it kept running. We'd spend $5,000 maybe on media, and we'd make 10. We'd spend 10, and we'd make 20, and that's very rare in this industry. So investors saw that, and Carl came to me and said, "All right, man, let's go to the next level and create something that can really, you know, create major transformation for people. What does that look like?" And so we created Power 90. Power 90 is a very modified version of P90X, and we sold millions of them. I mean, we still do. I mean, whenever I get my report at the end of the month, they're still selling with absolutely no advertising on TV whatsoever, because it's just you know, it's cardio and weightlifting and push-ups and sit-ups and crunches and lunges 6 days a week. And oh, by the way, you got to eat good too. You know, I mean, that works every time for everybody, but not everybody can do P90X. So, you know, people were doing Power 90 5, 6, 10, 15 times. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that video that you saw was our debate on what P90X should be. And when I presented, I did about a year's worth of research. Carl said, "Look, we're going to give you some time. Go out in the world, see what this thing needs to be. We already know that Power 90 works. We already know the basic formula works. How will P90X be different?" And I said, "Hey, look, the workouts have to be longer. We've got to add a separate yoga routine. We have to add a separate, you know, Kempo karate routine that is not so complicated that people can't do it. And we got to stick to the basics of, you know, what I know when it comes to lifting weights and push-ups and pull-ups. Pull-ups are not in Power 90, but they are in P90X. And that's an added feature that's kind of tricky for people because they don't have pull-up bars. But we show modifications, as many people know. And you know, we rolled the dice. I initially said to Carl, I want to help the clinically obese. And Carl said, no, you know what? We'll do that later. Let's take our customer base who wants to go to the next level and really kick their ass, you know. I hope that's okay to say.
It is perfectly fine.
All right, and
as long as you keep it at right there, though.
I know it'll lie.
There you go.
And lo and behold, you know, the first infomercial that came out did not do very well because people looked at it and they blinked, right? Mm-hmm. And holy crap, that looks really hard.
Right.
And the testimonials that we used in the original infomercial came from our test group. We took 65 guinea pigs from around the city of Los Angeles, and we brought them to a local gym. We installed a room full of pull-ups, and we went at it. And the ones that ate right and showed up regularly, you know, got incredible results.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, most folks at home says, oh, that looks like a controlled group, and they all got fed special food, and yada, yada. So we don't believe it. But there was, initially, a small group of people that did buy it and followed it to a T and just started sending their before and after pictures and video to us just to say, look at me, you know.
Right.
And we use that footage still to this day, you know, 7 years later and 7 infomercials later, we still use regular folks' home video and their before and after pictures, and all we do is put my silly mug up there to say something and add some cool music, and it's just become this thing, you know.
It's definitely like a raw infomercial. I mean, it's really there's so much of it that's at home footage that's just, you know, really good testimonials.
Okay.
It's very different than something else you'd see for another, you know, product online.
Now, Tony, whose idea was it, okay, to use actual people doing the workout at home and have them sending the videos of their transformation? Was that yours, or
It just happened, it seemed like. They just started sending them in.
right?
It was, you know, initially it was very organic. People were so excited that they wanted to share it with us,
Right.
and they just started showing up. I remember the folks that worked over there said, "Oh my God, you got to come over here. You're not going to believe the stuff that's coming."
Uh-huh.
You know, and so it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, well, why don't we just take this footage that they're sending us, you know,
Okay.
edit it maybe so it's, because they'll send, you know, like 90 minutes of stuff, which is too long.
Right.
And we just cut it down, and then that's when the second infomercial for P90X is when it really blew up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember after Power 90, I made just enough money to barely buy this home, you know, and there was a little downtime between Power 90 and P90X, and I'm thinking, oh wow, I got to go to, you know, Whole Foods and find me some organic cheese and macaroni for the next 3 months. You know what I mean? Turn all the lights off.
There you go.
I can't afford this place. Hope that P90X goes. The first time when it didn't, I went, oh no, I'm going to be one of those guys
Right.
that you know, like the actors who, you know, buy these big homes and cars, and then wah wah wah, the show gets canceled, you know. But thank God that so many people were submitting their stuff, and then we just put out an APB. We just said, hey, look, you know, on our website, if you've got footage, send it to us, and it just comes in, and now you go on YouTube, and it.
Right.
And here's the crazy thing is, we can't keep up. We have to go to YouTube to get some of the stuff because people will post it there first. Like the one that I saw today with this guy who did P90X 3 times. I posted it on my fan page, 180 comments in the first 10 minutes, and then I also posted it to about 50 of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in tears. It's unbelievable. And think about it. These are people who have been overweight their entire childhood, much of their adulthood, decided to do something in their house without a personal trainer, without joining a gym, and they push their coffee table out of the way, and they do it between their TV and their couch with some dumbbells and a pull-up bar, and it's off the chain, their results. And it's only because when you get the disc, you know, you either play catch-up or hit pause. You know, in a gym, how many times, and I'm a victim of this, you get in there, you bull crap with your buddies.
Right.
I almost blew it there, didn't I? And,
Almost so.
Almost. And then, you know, you put the weight rack on, and you do your set, and then, you know, then you have to strip the bar and put the proper weight for your buddy. Then you spot him, and, you know, you've done 2 sets of chest, and 25 minutes have gone by. It's effective if you're doing specific things in your life, like trying to get a big, strong chest or maximizing. People go, "What's your max weight on bench?" And I think I haven't cared about that since 1989.
Right.
I mean, I care about being able to do a handstand for a minute. I care about doing a backflip at 53. I care about jumping off cliffs on my skis. These are more dynamic exercises that are based on my lifestyle.
Right.
And it's not about looking good, because that's a train that's just really hard to keep up with. It's easy to get excited about fitness when you see that you're getting better.
Right.
When you see that you're getting stronger, to see that your flexibility is improving as you get older. I mean, that's where the money is, and that only comes with variety.
Mm-hmm.
The plateaus, the boredom, and the injuries, those are the reasons why people quit. Those are the reasons why there's so many sign-ups on January 2 of every year, and March 13th, nobody's in the gym anymore.
Right, right.
So that's really, and I don't know, I got off on a little kick.
No. Actually, what you did and what you said actually goes along with everything that you have been talking about, because I want everybody to go over to YouTube briefly and then come right back to ftns.co. And when you go on YouTube, okay, the gentleman that Mr. Tony Horton is talking about, his name is...
no, his name there. It just says My Testimony.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Click on where it says My Testimony, okay, and you're going to see this gentleman. He went from 370 pounds on down to 200 pounds strictly by using P90X. No supplements, no protein shakes, no fat loss pills, no gimmicks. Man did it in the comfort of his own home. Now, Tony, what do you say to someone who says, you know what, P90X looks kind of hard and I don't want to do it, and why do I have to work out in my home? I don't have time. What do you say to somebody that would approach you with that type of nonsense?
They don't have the information yet. They don't have the power of the knowledge of knowing how whole, clean food and regular exercise will change everything about who they are.
Right.
Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Most people who are fairly miserable and don't know that are pretty used to being miserable. But I tell people will always say to me, "How do you stay motivated? You're so busy. You're traveling around the globe." And I do these Armed Forces entertainment tours. I just got back from Japan, and we're going to Europe again. And we've got the new P90X. We've got other really exciting things coming out. And I am up to my eyeballs in alligators, but the fact of the matter is, I know that if I exercise today, my fitness improves today.
Right.
My health improves today. The quality of my life improves today. I'm not vulnerable to the illnesses and injuries that killed, my grandparents and killed my mother and the ancestors before them. You can recreate your own genetics by moving your butt, and that is incredibly powerful. A lot of people get on these weight-loss-only diet programs with the sole purpose of looking good in a dress in front of a bunch of people at a wedding who don't care. You know what I mean? It's such a convoluted mess. We don't. Your reason why is essential. So if your purpose is aligned with who you are and your desire to be better, and you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and you're staying accountable because you have a plan,
yes,
boom, you're done. You're in.
Right.
You're part of the party, and you're part of the solution, and no longer part of the problem.
Mm.
What do you think it is about P90X compared to any other program that keeps people so interested to stick all the way through it? Because there's so many products that come out on TV that people buy, and then they put them aside, and they just don't do them anymore. Like this one, people actually go all the way through with it.
Here's my comedic answer. Gosh, Brian, let me think. Me! That's right, me!
Get him, Tony!
I'm wrong!
Thank you! Get him!
I am the greatest trainer in the history of mankind. And so is my ego. You know how much work I've had to put into this house to widen these doors around here?
Hey, that's all right. You know what we're going to do? We're going to play Beyonce's My Ego. That's going to be your new theme song. No problem. No problem. Okay.
I know you guys you probably have to go, but to answer that quickly is, it's a combination of things. It really is. It's the sequences. It's how it prevents injury, how it prevents plateau and boredom, and it's also the fact that we give people various ways to do the exercises and to do the different programs.
Right.
There's classic, there's lean, there's doubles. And we let people hit the pause button. We let people do say the hell with being perfect. Just show up, man. That's all I'm asking people to do.
Right. Hey, I wanted to ask you a few more things here, too, before you go. Your book.
Oh, I got all day. Hey, no, honestly, I mean, I set aside some time. I mean, if we have time, because we're here to help people. We're here to help people get it, you know.
Right.
So many people are stuck in some kind of a, you know, doing something that they buy for 3 weeks and it ends up at the bottom of the driveway at a garage sale. We're trying to stop that.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a few other things, like your traveling and appearances. Like, is that something that's almost like nonstop now?
Well, it's stopped now because of my arm, but it was nonstop up till the injury. Sadly, I had to cancel a lot of events. We had a big thing coming up at Travis Air Force Base, and I was going to do a neat weekend, much like the one that we did, Brian, for Kaiser Permanente up in Bakersfield. Plus 4 shows on QVC got canceled. But you know, I'm busting my butt to get back, and we will shortly. You know, I mean, I've been back and forth to D.C. now 7 times, working with congressmen and senators at the Congressional Gym, which is a real honor. You know, it's a real blast to see that we have, you know, fans in D.C. because, of course, you know, the healthcare issue is the big thing.
Right.
I was talking to Congressman Aaron Schock, and he's a big believer too. He's on the cover of Men's Health this month, and he got a lot of crap for it. But you know, he says, you know, I have to quote him because it's not my quote. I got somebody quoted me saying this, but it wasn't me. You know, healthcare starts in your house, not the White House. And so, you know, what's neat is there are a minority of people in Washington who understand that. You know, they understand that the healthcare problem in this country is as a result of something that we have done to ourselves. You know, we can blame McDonald's and the healthcare companies and the pharmaceutical companies, and we can blame the Democrats or the Republicans, but ultimately it's up to us to turn that around. So I've been there, you know, several times, and I plan on going back. I'm actually the race marshal for the National Press Club 5K coming up in June. So if you're in D.C., plus, you know, I've done 2 Armed Forces Entertainment tours. We went to Italy first as sort of a little check to see if it would work out, and I was at Camp Darby, I was at Vicenza and Aviano Air Force Base, and we had a great response. So then we set one up for Japan, and we actually got back from Japan just 2 weeks before that incredible tragedy. But we started down in Okinawa, and we worked our way all the way up to northern Japan, and we did a 9-base tour. And, you know, these are mostly, obviously, Americans at these bases. And the thing about the people in the armed forces is that they have to pass this PT test. And before, it used to be just once a year. Now it's twice a year. If you fail that thing twice, you get kicked out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what rank you are. You know, if you're a sergeant major or whatever, you still have to take that thing. And if you don't pass, you're dead meat. And prior to P90X and any kind of program like it, you know, it was this hair-raising, by the hair of my skinny teeth, you know, what am I saying? You know what I'm saying. They
skinny,
barely
skinny
passing,
chin or something like that, I think it is.
Skinny skin teeth, yeah. Hey, I'm making up my own stuff over here.
Hey, you know what, Tony? You're allowed to do that, all right? You can do that.
They're going to quote me, and they're going to go, yeah, skinny teeth. We don't know what it means.
But Tony said it, so that's it.
And the fun thing is, though, that now, you know, these folks in the military are actually looking forward to the PT test because it's a joke compared to what they're doing with P90X. And to destroy it, you know?
Right.
And it's fun. So, yeah, there is a lot of travel. We know we go to QVC every month, and we usually do anywhere from 2 to 4 shows in QVC. And I love it. You know, I just love spreading the word. It's fun when you work for a company that allows you to do what you do best in a way that you know works, so that when you talk about it, you don't feel like you're talking out of the side of your mouth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot of smoke and mirrors around what I do. You know, I have critics now, of course, because I'm popular. Oh yeah, like Muscle Confusion's new, or you know, Jack Lane was doing years ago. Yeah, you know. I love when people say, "Well, I'm doing that." I said, if you were doing it, you would have invented it. You know, it's like Facebook.
Yes.
You know. Now, if you invented Facebook, you would have invented Facebook.
You would have invented Facebook.
If you invented P90X, you would have invented it. So it's fine. I'll take the critics. You know, when I look at the before and after pictures and the stories and the millions of people that are seeing a change, I'll focus on that more.
Right. Okay. Now, Tony, on a serious type of question right here, okay? You know, you obviously believe in your product. I've had some people that have used your products And these are big guys, okay? I'm not talking just your average overweight guys. The guys I'm talking about have actually surprised me. They came up to me and they're like, hey, Bricks, listen, man, I'm doing that P90X thing. I'm ready to battle you in push-ups. They always wind up losing. But, yeah, they always wind up losing. You see, I'm old school. You know, I'm 600 push-ups every day. But what I want to know is this right here, Tony. Does it surprise you when you wake up in the morning knowing that you've changed so many people's lives with a product that you thoroughly believe in? You know, like, is it a humbling, overwhelming feeling when you wake up and be like, wow, you know, I'm Tony Horton?
Yeah, I've been saying that since I was 5. Look at you, 5-year-old. You can barely get through school. You got a horrible speech impediment, but one day
That's right.
you're going to be the man.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You're still peeing on yourself, but it's okay.
That's right. That's right. I still miss the John, you know, but that no one knows.
Right.
You know what? To be perfectly honest, to give you sort of a straight answer, it still blows my mind. You know, if people saw my journey day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, it would make sense to them. But when you know, they think it's some kind of overnight success, a lot of people. But, you know, I mean, I've been in this business for, you know, close to 27 years. And when I started out, I was driving all over town, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, charging $25 a workout. And I thought that was cool because it was more than $23.50 an hour. You know, but you know, I had a broken down old car, and you know, I would drive to Venice and then Hollywood and then Malibu and then, you know, to Santa Monica and then the Brentwood, and you know, you're lucky just because of all the drive time that you would make. You know, you'd make just enough money to, you know, still pay your bills and still feed yourself and maybe go on an occasional vacation a couple times a year. But the cool thing was, it was, you know, I was dictating when and where and who, and in the process, you know, you're training Tom Petty and Billy Idol and Usher and Hugh McGregor and Bruce Springsteen,
Right.
and really cool people. So, you know, it wasn't a bad thing. But you know, to your point, when you find out that Michael Strahan is using P90X, you think, well, that's cool. When you think that you know, Kenny Smith, all-pro, you know, all-star basketball players using P90X. When you find out that Ashton Kutcher is tweeting about it, when you find out that you know, majors and colonels and generals, and that Mrs. Obama is using your stuff.
That's true.
It's pretty humbling, man. I mean, it kind of blows your mind. And but you know, I'm lucky because my success came very late in life. So you know, I always assume that it's all going to go away at some point, and so I just keep pushing harder. That's why I wrote the book. That's why I'm working on this TV series. You know, that's why I'm writing my second book, and that's why we're coming out with new products at Beachbody, because, you know, there's still millions and millions of other people who still don't get it, you know, and if we can tap into them, then I just try to stay humble. You know, I mean, there's so many people in my industry, so many people in Hollywood that, you know, the minute they get a little bit of money, some fame, they turn into real jag-offs, you know, and it's sort of too bad because it ends up hurting them. I mean, look what's happened to Arnold here in this last week.
Whew.
You know, I mean, his integrity meter has gone into the toilet, which is such a bummer, you know, because he could now that he's kind of retired, and I know he's going through some rough stuff, but he had a real opportunity here to, you know, get people, you know, back in the game again, and now he's not going to have any credibility, which is a drag, because he's, you know, on some level an amazing human being, obviously.
Definitely, definitely.
Absolutely.
You know, that the whole thing was what Arnold did for the fitness industry. A lot of people have been quoted as saying it could never be duplicated. You know, I'm one of those people that say I don't believe that. You know, I'm not saying reinvent the wheel, but you can make the wheel better than what it was when it first started out. You know, what Arnold did for bodybuilding is what you're doing for, like, personal body transformation, and you're doing it in the home. You know? Now, with the success of P90X, with the success that you've been achieving worldwide and having all of these celebrities endorse your products and use your products and speak so positively about your product, Tony, okay, what advice would you give to like personal trainers, fitness competitors, or just people in the industry that want to be the next Tony Horton?
They want to be another celebrity. They want to know, like, what it takes. You know, we speak to a lot of guys, like, from my contest that make it to a cover of a magazine, and then they get a check for $250. And Yeah, I always try to think of the big picture for these people, and a lot of times they have no way of understanding like what kind of process that is. And you said it took a long time, but if you had to like give somebody like good advice that's a fitness model or a personal trainer, what would you tell them if they wanted to go that direction?
I'm not telling anyone. I don't want any competitors. Forget it. You're on your own.
You're on your own, huh?
No. Here's what I would say, and this is the only thing that I did. I would say, be creative, be an innovator, think outside of the box, find a mentor that you like and admire, and think about everything I've done. You think I invented the push-up or plyo? All I did was find really cool moves, and I found sequences that I thought worked, that were effective, that avoided those three things we talked about before: boredom, plateaus, and injury. Right. So that was my little niche. And besides, I had a test group with all my clients. When Tom Petty had to get ready for a tour, and he had 3 months. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew what he needed to eat, and I knew how he needed to exercise, especially because he liked exercise as much as you and I like a punch in the face, with our hands tied behind our backs, right? So and really ultimately, people gravitate to you purely based on who you are. You could have the worst program in the world, but if you've got tons of charisma, and trust me, there's a lot of people who have done this, then they will follow you.
Right.
So it's why not have a sound program, great ideas, think outside of the box, have a great sense of humor. Don't treat it like rocket science or a drill sergeant. I mean, that drill sergeant thing, that works for some people. It doesn't work for me because I'm trying to get everybody involved. I'm not trying to just help bodybuilders. I'm not just trying to help football players. I'm not just trying to help, pregnant moms. I'm trying to help everybody. And the more people that I help, the more successful I'll be in the long term, and the better I'll feel about what I'm doing. So don't get caught up in some kind of little niche thing. If you're like, left-handed floor Pilates only classes for women over 70, well, good luck. You know what I mean? Enjoy living in the van down by the river.
What you know about that song? You don't know about that song.
So the thing is, you want to be well-rounded, and a lot of folks don't have kind of a goofy sense of humor like I do, but you got to find a way to make yourself appealing. And it's going to obviously be your physique. It's going to be your style. It's going to be it's going to be your program, and that combination, and patience, and time, and patience.
Right.
I mean, look, I didn't start this great success until I was in my 40s. So if you're in your late teens, 20s, 30s, hold on, man. Just do your thing, and it's going to happen for you.
Okay.
Definitely that. Yeah. Okay, now Tony, real briefly, because I know you got a great supportive team around you. But is there anybody out there that you would like to thank? Wow.
Anybody I'd like to thank? In a weird way, I want to thank two people for different reasons.
Okay.
I want to thank my mom. My mom passed away a year ago, March. And she was the best listener in the world. True success comes from somebody who's able to listen. We all got these great opinions, and we end up talking over other people, and we're not really listening very well. And my mother was a great listener, so as a result of being somebody who could really hear what I was saying, what I was struggling with all these years, I was able to learn from her and learn from that. The other third person I want to thank is my high school football coaches who treated me like dirt. You know what I mean? They just didn't care about me. I mean, the fact that I made the team was a bit of a miracle. But what they did was they had a style that was purely about winning, winning games. And so we as football players were expendable. I mean, you had guys who were on the first string and guys like me who were on the third string, and we were just tackling dummies, used to help the other players get better. And that's fine. I mean, that's going to help you, get your name in the paper. Good for you. But what I learned from that experience was and because it was so miserable, look, I'm fit, but I'm miserable. Let's do fitness where people are happy and where they feel like they can grow and improve. And that's really what matters. And that's why my style works, and that's the reason why P90X works. It's a little mixture between, hardcore trainer and clown and therapist and babysitter and badass. I mean, that's just the mix that seems to work, as opposed to just screaming and yelling at people the whole time.
Right.
It's not very inspiring, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay. Now, Tony, you came to the Oakdale event. You met Brian Cannone. You really didn't meet me because I was on stage. I was the MC. when are you coming
Oh,
back?
yeah, I was looking for you.
Yeah, I'm
You're hiding from me. You knew that push-up contest was coming.
Yeah, I tell you what. Anytime you want to come back to Connecticut, you come find Bricks, or I'll come find you. All right. Now, Tony, but you actually are coming back to Connecticut again, correct?
I am. Actually, my hometown, we're going to have a fitness day in the gym that I was humiliated in. That'll be fun.
It's in September that you're coming back?
That'll be September 17th, I believe. That's the date, and it's going to be a really fun event because it'll be really great to go to my hometown and work with I'm going to see some old friends, and I'm going to meet some new ones,
right.
and share what I know, what I've learned over the course of the last 27 years. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope as many people can come as in that area, whether it be Rhode Island, Connecticut, Mass, New York. Come on up and join me. I don't know how much space they have, but sign up early, and we're going to have fun. We're going to do my 11 laws of health and fitness, maybe my cycle of success, and 1 or 2 workouts, and a Q&A, and I'm going to bring my book, and I'll sign books, and it'll be a fun event.
Definitely.
Well, I know we could definitely fit over, at the Oakdale, if we could have fit over 300 people, there definitely would have been more doing the workout with you. I mean, it was just a great response.
Right. But now, Tony, unfortunately, I got to go. My producer, he's giving me the wrap it up sign. And you know what? I want to thank you so much for calling into the Body Shop. I want to thank you for taking time out of your hectic schedule, as well as your recuperation time, and I wish you all the best. But listen, save me a space September 17th at Trumbull High School, okay? Because me and you might just have to get down with the push-up contest.
Oh, this arm will be ready in September.
I'm going to hold you to that.
There's a pull-up bar nearby. Look out.
Anytime you're ready. I will be there September 17th at Trumbull High School. Tony Horton, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the fantastic, the legendary Mr. Tony Horton. And in closing, success breeds envy. And the best revenge you can have against a jealous person is to become even more successful. You keep God first and everything will be all right. This is Bricks signing off for Brian and Mr. Tony Horton. We got to go, but we'll see you when we see you.
Bricks and Brian, thanks, man.
Thank you.
You are listening to FTNS, world's first fitness radio. Online at ftns.co.